instant gratification thing, they like me, they don't like me thing, the crowd thing. People are responding to the cravings of um, a number of times in a lot of ways, abandoning their ideals, their cultures, their tradition, their values in response to what social media wants in terms of what will make them trend. But I have news for you. Forget about the trending. Do what you know is right. Continue doing what you are convinced, makes sense. The analytics, oh, they are good, they're great. Oh, they get you money. But then again, must money be the first reason why all of us must do things? That's a question for you too. We're talking parenting here. So it's relevant. You might say, what's he talking about? I mean, what has that got to do with parenting also? It has a whole lot to do with parenting because we're parenting children now who want instant everything, including popularity, from people they don't know, have not met, will never meet. And these things have effects on them in very measurable and consequential ways. We've had reports of terrible things kids do to themselves because they feel somebody doesn't like them on social media. So when I received this message today from this individual, I felt very elated and happy, And I will read what he sent. It's on TikTok. Okay. It's at Miller Scarlett at official, which would be the official handle of this individual. And he says, if the world has more people like you, then it will definitely be a better place. Thank you so much, sir. I appreciate that. And you know what? TikTok, TikTok, you post your videos on TikTok, videos from this, either videos promoting a particular edition or videos promoting clips from a particular edition. TikTok will be the first to say, oh, this is a wonderful video for you to promote. So if you know it's a wonderful video for anybody to promote, why are you blocking it from getting to places it should get, to waiting for paid advert? And then we used to promote videos, and you discover that you have 50, 60 views of a particular video, not a single follower from the 50 or 60,000 views. Not a single emoji in terms of comments or engagement. So what does that tell you? It tells you that they are just computer-generated views, in quotes. That's who? TikTok. TikTok that bans people for bots using AI-generated, things. So you pay money for advert, and you have not a video would get 50,000 views in one day, and it will get to that 50,000 views in that one day. And once the 50,000 or thereabout once it gets to that point, it will stop. But not one follower, not one engagement. Then something is wrong. Then I ask my team to stop. Doesn't make sense. So continue to do what you're doing. Hopefully, more guys like our friend who feels or felt probably had been following, engaged to say, well done. People are watching what you are doing. I mean, the real people, the ones that matter. Take the, but most importantly, and then you also have a lot of people who follow things, appreciate them, but then it's just their way. They don't engage, they don't follow, they just silent there. So continue to do somewhere along the line is something we give. Okay, even if it's in the spectrum of, oh, you want to build your followership or you want monetization and all, keep doing what you're doing. Tell your children that too, because a lot of our kids are getting disappointed. At the point, my son was like, Dad, I give up. I do all of this. I go, don't worry. Continue improving. Look for ways to repackage what you're doing, make it more exciting. Enjoy yourself first, but then remain true to yourself. Remain true to your focus. Don't do things because other people are doing that. Oh, this is what is trending now. Okay, go do it. Regardless of what it is. Nudity and all of that. No. Do what you know. It's still the slow parenting program. We still say, let the backdrop of your parenting relationship with your children be your culture, your tradition, your family values, your ethical values. And of course, the legal codes of the society that you reside in or do your business from. Okay. Thank you so very much. That's just an aside. So I want to say thank you so much, Mila Scarlett, for that very heartwarming message you sent to us. We appreciate it. Okay. So today, how do we start? We say we're doing a recap of, and then, the messages already called, the questions have started coming in. Yeah, but it was a very interesting season, and it went by even before I knew that started. I'm like, well, like, well, okay. Thanks so much to all of you who have made it a point to follow us, whether you have subscribed or not, but we'll be happier if you subscribe. We'll be happier and it will be much more helpful to us if you shared, if you commented, if you engaged, okay? If you invited your friends to be part of the Slow Parenting Podcast family. Okay, thank you so much. Go to the first, this is a recap. So you are very free to send in your questions from whichever any issue in parenting. Sorry, not this season, last season. Okay. So the first community member here says, what should I do when I see my child making the same mistake I made and they won't listen? I enjoy that part. I seriously I enjoy those sceneries because I'm first of all laugh. The first thing I always say is, excuse me, sir, excuse me, is it that route you are on? The boss you are inside because I know what is in that bus stop. Well, the part of Nigeria I come from, the southwest, the Yorubas, they say the elders would tell their children that no matter how much fanciful clothes a child has, or would have, or does have, that child can never have more rags than the parents. And they're talking about experience. So you can't know more than your parents. You can call them old school all you like. Well, that's why they're called old school. So simple. What should you do? They won't listen. But I have a question to ask you. Have you shared your experience with them? When you share the experience, where you just screaming and say, we're pulling ears, I've told you, you don't understand. No. What do you want them to understand? What did you tell them? Did you tell them the truth? You need to be vulnerable with your children when it comes to experience sharing. Don't worry, they're your children. And why are you asking this question? Why did you bring this up? You don't want them to have the same experiences you have. For them not to have the same experiences or experience that you had, you've got to be there. You've got to be open. You've got to share your experience. That thing, listen, guys, the reason I'm telling you this is this happened to me. And seriously, I don't think you would not that I want it to happen to you. I don't think you would want it to happen to you because of that experience, XYZ happened. And here I am today. Be sincere. There are turns we've taken in life, especially as parents, as adults, that have defined where we arrive at finally by the time our children arrive, or even by the time they now grow up and start their own, well, lives, as it were, or about to start their own lives. You let them know the truth. Don't hide anything. Don't feel embarrassed about telling your children the truth about your experiences, whatever they might be. Mother, father, whatever. Tell them truthfully what happened to you, with you, about that experience that you're saying, look, guys, I know where this leads. Whatever. On this program, in the early seasons of this program, I think it was season 2, one of our resource persons then, Mrs. I'm trying to, this is so funny. Okay. She shared an experience about her brother that used to smoke. And then because he didn't want the children to smoke, he would go into the, well, bathroom to smoke. And after he would have smoked, he would use all sorts of air fresheners, perfumes, and all of that. And one day, as a story, we have the story, one of our videos on our YouTube channel is there. The daughter they went out, outing. Something was smelling, and they said, oh, wow, this smells like daddy's perfume. Somebody was smoking. So her daddy's perfume, the father didn't know that they would not dent in there, something would smell like something. And then when the girl went somewhere, a gathering, somebody was smoking and said, this smells like daddy's perfume. It's Mrs. Yetunde Banjo that told that story about her brother. Pastor Mrs. Yetunde Banjo was one of our resource persons on this program. It sounded funny, but it's not funny. And then the wife now went to the husband and said, look, come, please, it looks like you got to level up with your children. They know what you're hiding from them, they already know. So tell them, and the man, yes, I've been going into the bathroom to smoke, and then because I don't want you to see me, it's not a habit I want you to get involved. I've been trying to stop it. I can't stop. So it's not something you want to start. Yeah, be sincere. And the children became more understanding of that whole. Well, actually, as the story was told, try to help him in whatever ways they could to, well, cope, live, sort out that challenge. I'm waiting for part 2 of that story if the man stops smoking. I don't know. I don't know the end, so I don't know. All right. We have another community member here. He says, in line with what you said, my son, with what I said when My son is so influenced by external forces. Oh, okay. It would probably be what we're saying about you. My son is so influenced by external forces and even got a tattoo because all his friends were getting. We never spoke to him about remaining true to himself until that happened. He is 17 now. How do we speak with him so he listens? Never too late. Never too late to start. Okay? Remember, last week, what did we talk about last? We talked about boundaries. And the boundaries put everything that needs to, that you care as a family into those boundary building conferences or workshops or seminars or trainings, whatever you need to call them. Put all the issues you think are important to your family, including dressing, including sleeping positions, if you like, whatever. Okay? Now, well, this community member is sincere in saying that we didn't start, we didn't discuss. Okay? Okay, sorry you didn't start early. You're now saying, what would you do? What should you do? Now, I'm going to take it in two parts. First part, start early. Not you now, not this community member. Other community members listening to me who are about families and their but tattoo is benefit him in line with what you believe in. Okay? So another community member here said, what does leading with love actually look like when I am angry? What it looks like when you're angry, don't take any action. That's what it looks like to start with. Don't take action when you're angry. And actions include speaking. Action include speaking. Okay? So much is said about emotional intelligence and human relation. But then the first word there is what? Emotional. I mean, so controlling your emotions, especially when it comes to relationship with your children. And you can take action later, I'll say something later, but calm down first. You've already realized that you are angry. So deal with that emotion first. We always say on this program, never discipline your children when you're angry because there's a tendency that you could overdo it and create more harm than the correction you are trying to give. So do not discipline either verbally or practically, physically when you're angry. Deal with yourself first. Deal with that emotion of anger in you first by going into your room, taking a walk, whatever you got to do to calm down, and then come back to deal with the situation. Okay, all right. Someone said, "Is it that easy?" life itself is not easy. I'm not sure of what it is in life that's easy to do. I don't know what it is. But then we all have to do stuff. And we all have to commit to stuff to get stuff done, whatever it is. It's not easy for you to cook your meal, but you cook. It's not even easy for you to eat, but you eat. Some people don't like the whole idea of bathing, but they get to bathe. And the one that somebody will say, "Are you kidding me?" I'm not kidding you, because when I say it now, even you will realize that, well, oh, that's true. Nobody really wants to work. But do you know why most folks work? They got to pay bills. Anywhere in the world, you got to take care of stuff. And to take care of stuff, you got to work. Half of mankind would not do nothing if they were said, okay, don't worry, what are your needs? Write them down. Even writing things down is working, Okay, tell us your need. Even talking, if it's possible. Well, yeah, yes, get that funny, right? Yes. But we'd have to work to earn, to be able to take care of things that need to be taken care of. Okay. Another community member here says, last episode you spoke about healthy consequences when setting boundaries with our children. Apart from withholding allowance, which other ones would you recommend? What are the things that are important to your children? We said personal things. Thank you for taking us back to the last episode of consequences. Do you know your children? Do you know them well? What do they like? Set the consequences around the things that they like doing. We said also not their needs, not the basic human needs of your children, of an individual. No, do not set consequences around basic needs like you won't eat, you won't sleep, you are not going to go to school, we're not going to buy your school uniform. No, continue to use the one that is torn from last time because you missed it. No, don't do not those things. There are some you have going to visit friends, going to play their favorite sport, going for their vocational, not extracurricular activities, not school work, not, yeah. Build consequences around the things that you know that each child loves doing. And they will sit up. No football for the rest of the week. Okay, Mom, if I go to wash the plate now, I will, well, I will think about it. You will go and wash the plate that he said no. You had him or her arguing with the siblings. I'm not with plate. But it's time to wash to do the dishes. Say, I'm not doing that. What's going on here? Well, John, yes, mommy. Was I you saying you wouldn't do the dishes? Well, you did. No dishes, no football. John will go and do the dishes. Okay, his allowance if you have a problem. But the money thing works like magic. Trust me. The money bit, the allowance thing, it works. It works like if you also allowance, fine. Use things that they like to do. Restrict, cut down, remove, not permanently. Okay? Things you know they love doing. Put some limits, you know, cancel over a period of time. But be fair. Okay, be fair. Don't do that when you're angry. Like we said, responding to the other contribution from the other community member. Don't react to consequences. Don't apply consequences when you're angry. Don't discipline your children out of anger. If you're a parent, at some point in your life, you will remember when you've reacted irrationally. I had, yeah, and you go back to what did I just do? I could have caused more. Yeah, sure. Okay. So we're not discussing this with you from a saintly viewpoint. No, it's experiential. Okay. Don't calm down. Walk away. Get into your car, drive somewhere, or just drive around. Then come back, calm down. And then, hey, John, come, let's have a talk. Okay. And the child is most likely going to listen and then apply what is being said. Thank you. Another community member here say, how do I stay patient when it disappoints them? Don't shout. One thing you might not know is that they're enjoying the shouting. You shout. It's when you shout now when you disappoint them. Same thing. Leave the sin. Anyhow, leave the sin. The world will not come to, so long as it's not something that will create an untoward emergency situation. Walk away from the sin and then come back, revisit it, call them, disappoint them when they have forgotten, even when they themselves have forgotten the issue. Now call them back and say, guys, come, we got to. Aha, okay, it's gone. No, it's not gone. You just want to present yourself as that person, predictable, after all, it's just going to shout. Okay. Someone else here says, I recently adopted a child. How soon do I let her know she is adopted, or do I not tell her at all? First of all, what good in your child that she said he or okay? In this case, she. What do you want to derive by telling her she's adopted? What? One of the reasons why you probably, I'm just assuming, one of the reasons why you want to adopt a child is that you have no children or you want to help. Either way, telling the child you are really not part of us doesn't cut it for you or for the child. So it's better you take the child back to where you got the child from, because that statement of, see, we adopted you, just messes everything else up. Okay? So it shouldn't come up. It shouldn't come up at all. For the psychological well-being of that child, for your own psychological well-being, in terms of relating with the child, in terms of relating with others over the issues that concern the child, you're the child's parents. It's nobody else's business. And you want to make that child to settle in life, to grow normally. It wouldn't help to have that conversation at all. So please, at no time should you discuss it. It's not about being secretive, but then the child that arrives doesn't know anything. Both of you know, or well, the person that did the adoption knows. Sometimes the agency or the entity giving out the child doesn't want a link back. So records are sometimes there's a request for a link back at some point. So if there's a request for a link back at some point, I mean, to the biological parents, for whatever reason, at it. So at some point, then it might, in that case, make sense at some point to have that conversation. We're going somewhere today. You're telling the child, because that's beyond you, because that's part of an agreement you had with some other people. But then the question again in that kind of a situation is, how does that help the child? My concern is the child, not you, not whoever the back. If you want to keep that link back, why don't you keep your child? And if you agree to do that, why are you taking the child? Okay? This child needs to settle in life, have a focus, be happy, be organized, and move on. Information, they say, is power. A certain information, because it's powerful, will scatter an individual. A certain other kind of information builds up individuals. This kind of information, we are not already your biological parents, will leave most children, not some children, destroyed emotionally, relationally. Okay, so it's not a conversation that you want to be having. So it then means that you should really think it through what you want when you are, considering adoption. Okay, thank you. Okay. All right, so we're going to take a short break now, okay? We're just going to see a few of our previous short videos about different issue areas in our parenting job here on the Slow Parenting program. Don't go away. We'll be back.
Eighty-four, 85, 86, 87. Look at daddy. Look at daddy. Okay, look, all done, all done. Look at daddy with your eyes,
Time for carrying gadgets. When you have to take your children, either biological or your children by trust, when you take them out to experience natural environments, that's not the time to carry any devices, including yourself, except having your phone maybe because of GPS and all of that. The children, there's no reason for them to carry devices along with them. I'm addressing now young couples, male, female, and please listen to me and listen carefully. Any woman that would not respect the father would not respect you eventually. The same thing, any man that would not respect his mother would not respect you. So as you are courting, open your eyes. At some point during marriage counseling classes, years gone by, we used to tell couples, it is better to separate than to divorce. Meaning, it is better for the courtship to be ended than for you to blindly go into marriage and then begin going to this. There are things that should be outstanding, that should be red flags. I will repeat, young man, the person you are courting has a habit of complaining, my father did this to my mother, my father did this to my mother every time. Walk away. Yes, walk away. You see, that resentment about the father, it will be transferred to you without your doing anything really. The same thing, young woman, my mother never took care of me. My mother was not used to cooking for us. She was never there. My mother, walk away, young woman. That same complaining agency will be opened in your name down the road. Look for people who have cordial relationship with their parents. Start from there. It's not everyone, but then it's not everyone that must be your wife, or it's not everyone that must be your husband. You want to build a home, build correctly, build right. No matter how beautiful, no matter how intelligent, no matter how rich, no matter how influential, if those red flags are there, walk away. Walk away. Hello, welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that video from our archives. Okay, welcome back. While we were doing that video or playing that video back, you had some other company members sending more concerns, questions. This is a concern, well, with a question. It says here, my father, my son's grandfather, recently passed away. And my toddler son asked me what that is. Okay. How do I make him understand the gravity of it without scaring him? Why would you think of gravity first? Because that's the first thing. Maybe you are the one who is scared. Where would gravity come? Why would you think from the perspective of gravity? That itself is on the path of every human being. It's the way of mankind. It's inevitable, like they say. That's one part of that story. That's maybe why you're talking about gravity. The other aspect of it is, if your child could ask the question, what is death? Your child already would or could or might have been hearing stories about angels and, okay, the other opposite of angels. So why don't you stay with the nice one? Angels are not. Has your child seen angels before? No. Is it likely going to see angels? No. Is your child going to see your father, his grandfather again? No. And where? Yes. Where are angels? But the child has an understanding of the concept of angels. So your father has gone to be with the angels. So the child is not expecting, because he's not seen angels, where his grandpa is gone to where angels are. Are you lying? You are not. Because do you understand death and all of that? Do you really do? Does anybody? No. Okay, so you package the story and there's peace. Not from, you see, when people die, they don't come back again. The child is going like, oh, it must be terrible. No, they want to be with the angel. Make it happy, and then kind of story. Okay? Why is your grandpa always going to where the angels are? That's your child and the friends. So your child becomes an ambassador, an apostle, an evangelist about when people are no longer here, they're going to be with the angels. It's an explanation. It gets everybody going, and you not getting into a funk about how you explain that. Don't explain that. Don't try. Your job, make your son have an understanding of living peacefully, not shielding or masking truths, no. But there's some truths you can't handle it. So why are you trying to make your child handle the whatever truth that is? The important thing is this person is not going to see this person again physically. Like I said earlier, he probably has had stories about angels, even if he hadn't had stories about angels. Children like stories. Tell them story about angels. Grandpa has gone to be with angels, traveled with angels. He's going to be away for a long, long time. Sooner than later, the child will forget. Even if the child remembers again, remember what we said, he's gone with the angels, it's not back here. Yeah. Okay. I hope that helped. There's another contribution. He says, I think my son is depressed. Uh-oh. I search online and he exhibits all the signs and symptoms. Is this the time to involve third parties in my family affair? But you are still thinking now. You're still thinking. You have not found out. Have you spoken with your son? What are the issues? What is he depressed about? Or what could he be depressed about? How did you come to the conclusion? Because you searched online? I was in a conversation with a friend over the weekend over a, a certain behavioral pattern. And was like, is that not a disorder? I'm like, why do we have to just attach names and titles to things because we just go online and search for things, and then somebody is feeling something, it just goes online to go check. So oh, I must this must be what is wrong with me. Find out what your son or your child is feeling. Find out why your child is having that or those feelings or reactions. Check your own experiences. Check if there are things that need external remedies. That's the only time you begin to think about third party. And this time we're talking about professional third parties. Okay? When we say professional, doctors, dietitians, psychologists, okay? Not people who will do the same thing that you ought to have done. Talk to your child, find out what's going on, and then deal with it. Help the child get out of it. You went online. And I have news for you. There's nothing online that is not someone that put it there. Nothing. Okay? So you might just have gone to pick up somebody's that might actually not be applicable to your child, that might not be the reason why your child is in the mood or behaving the way he or she's behaving. Find out. Talk, talk, talk. Discuss, discuss, discuss. And then take action from what you've heard. Okay? Another comment here says, my daughter looks like and reminds me so much of my abusive mother. How do I parent a child who reminds me of someone who hurt me? A tough one. Yeah. Because again, my daughter looks and reminds daughter's physical appearance, right? Not behavior. I didn't read behaves like. I said looks like and reminds me so much of my abusive mother. Why would you not be transferring their this is a case of transferred aggression. Why would you not be transferring your feelings for your mother to a child that has done nothing to you? Remember, number one, No child wrote application to arrive in any family. You and your husband or you and your partner sat and said, oh, it would be nice for us to have a child. And well, some things happened and the child arrived, invited by both of you. So the child has no control about who he or she looks like or would look like. So why would you now be tending to have any confusion about how you should relate with your child because it has an appearance looks like it. Now, the other side of why you recognize abusiveness. Why don't you bring up your daughter in a loving way to let that child not have anything to do with being abusive? Why don't you be the solution to what you saw as unacceptable with your mother? First, how is your relationship with your child? You're already defining it, but I don't want to conclude to say, okay, are you already abusing your child to get back at your mother? It's not your mother of your own leg in any way. Okay. I think with that, we've had a very beautiful package today. We have gone round, 13 episodes of it, right? Okay. It's all good. We have enjoyed being here. We would enjoy, for season 5, looking at parenting cycles, looking at specific, and to grow up to become the best versions of themselves for the good of themselves first, the good of the family, and good of the society at large. So thank you so much for being part of our show today. We look forward to your being with us again next week, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, US and Canada, and 7 p.m. West African Time, including Nigeria. Share this podcast, share this program with your friends, invite them over, engage even offline, even off the stream. You can send us your questions, your comments, your observation, your perspective on any parenting issues through any of our social media handles. Okay? Go to our YouTube channel. You find past videos of past podcasts, past live streams. If you find anyone interesting, you can reach us. Our contact details are right there on the YouTube channel and at any of our social media handles. Thank you so much for being part of our show today. Bye-bye. See you next week. Bless.